Hello, welcome to Dun Girls Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Today, for Batman Month, we're reviewing the Justice League 2017 superhero film, which is 2 hours, and according to Google, it was directed by Zack Snyder, which, as we know, that was not the case, unfortunately, because Zack Snyder's daughter uh, committed suicide, and Joss Whedon was asked to take over. Unfortunately, R.I.P. Zack Snyder's daughter, who a certain person said was Zack's fault that she committed suicide, which is horrible thing to say. Horrible thing to say. Music by Danny Elfman, starring Henry Cavill as Superman, who's barely in the film. Gall Gadot as Wonder Woman, Jason Momoa as Aquaman, Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne, Ezra Miller as Barry Allen Flash, and Ray Fisher as Victor Stone. And you also have, it's not showing me the rest of the cast. You have like Jeremy Irons as Alfred, and J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon. Amber Heard's in the film in one scene. Amy Adams is there. And you have Clarence Hines as the voice of Steppenwolf, which they even name drop. They even name drop the New Gods, which they really should. They really should do a New Gods film. If as long as they don't do what Marvel's doing with the Eternals, it'll be a million times better than the shitty Eternals film. So I watched this film back in the day. Well, not in theaters. I waited till the Blu-ray came out. And I gotta say, I was a little not happy with the film. I didn't think it was bad or anything. It's just that wasn't a huge fan of the casting. Like Ezra Miller as the Flash, and the whole like Barry Allen's character in the film. I'm not a huge fan of him. There's even a scene where like, you know, they're about to fight parademons, right? And the Flash goes to Batman and says, "Hey, I've never been in a real fight before. I just went around pushing people." Which we know that from the Suicide Squad that he has been in real fights. Okay, and even Zack Snyder was like, somebody told him that, and he was like, "What the fuck?" Fucking Joss Whedon. Oh my god. Alright, so yeah, I'm not a fan of the casting in this film at all. And there's also the problem. Justice League has always, as far as I understand it, has always been a 17-member team. Right? And there's only 6 members. Which, in the Snyder Cut, they introduced, I think, John Stewart, Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter. That's what I was told, right? Though people are saying like they might bring Ryan Reynolds back as Green Lantern. I say fuck Ryan Reynolds. He talked too much shit, like after Green Lantern bombed, which I don't even think it bombed that bad. It's just that the critics didn't like it, which I actually enjoyed that fucking film. So if that guy. Dude, that guy pissed me off. I got rid with his bad mouth trashing of Green Lantern. That I got rid of my Ryan Reynolds Hal Jordan figure, right? Because fuck him. I already have a shitload of Hal Jordan figures. I don't need a shitty Ryan Reynolds Hal Jordan figure in my collection. So yeah, the story. I should get to the plot of the film, which the plot of the film is basically since Superman's been dead, everybody's been depressed and dreading another alien invasion. Everybody thinks that there's going to be another alien invasion, and Batman, after stealing, you know, Luthor's files from the last film, decides to recruit a team to fight against you know the further alien invasions which this new alien invasion is Steppenwolf, one of Darkseid's minions, who is in exile and is conquering worlds to garner favor with Darkseid so he can go back home, right? Which, you know, he was summoned by, like, it was the thing where I think he was summoned by one of the mother boxes to come to Earth because they sensed that Superman was dead, even though Superman hasn't been on Earth for that long. And, like, he has to, you know, gather 3 mother boxes that have been left on Earth since he was last on Earth. Last tried to invade Earth, but he was stopped by the Greek gods, the Atlanteans and Amazons, and the armies of man back in the Middle Ages or whatever, right? And so he has to gather the 3 mother boxes so he can terraform the Earth. So it's like Apocalypse, right? And the Justice League has to stop him, which Batman basically becomes a recruiter. Is basically Samuel Jackson from the Avengers, going around recruiting people. There's Barry Allen, who's like the nerd. You have Jason Momoa, who very much feels like Ultimate 4 from Ultimate Comics, where, like, you know, he's almost like he's hanging out with the Norse people and like helping them out, just like, you know, like Ultimate 4 was, and like the Ultimates, right? Which, yeah, had a lot. It reminded me a lot of Ultimates, right? With how they handled Jason Momoa in this movie, right? And also, yeah, they recruit Wonder Woman because, you know, Wonder Woman and Victor Stone, Cyborg, whose dad was the head of Star Labs, saved his son from an accident and turned him into a cyborg, using one of the mother boxes that they had, right? So, like, yeah, and yeah, they team up and stop Steppenwolf, but Steppenwolf is too powerful, so they decide to use one of the mother boxes to bring Superman back to life, and then Superman shows up last 20 minutes and pretty much defeats, like, Steppenwolf. So it makes you wonder, why did they even need, like, fuck, man, like, Superman could have just, like, beat Steppenwolf by himself, pretty much. Well, they needed Cyborg's expertise with the mother boxes to, like, you know, stop, you know, Steppenwolf. Which I would say Ray Fisher was actually cool as Cyborg. I know he's like a controversial figure now because he was talking all that shit about Jeff Johns and Joss Whedon, that they pretty much ruined, like, Snyder's dream of what, like, you know, Justice League was supposed to be, right? Which I hear mixed things about the Snyder Cut. Some people love it, some people hate it. From what I've heard about it, it sounds cool, right? So I'm gonna go with my likes and dislikes about the film. I felt you got the costumes pretty much right, except for I'm not a huge fan of Barry Allen's Flash costume. But everybody pretty much looks like the Justice League. I thought Alfred was great in the film. Ben Affleck is still trying. Still actually giving a good performance, which was great. This film was a lot more lighthearted than the other films. Did not, like, when I first watched this, I felt like it was, like, trying too much to be like a Marvel film. I didn't really get that much Marvel vibes, right? So watching it at, like, a second time around, I think that I might have just, you know, imagined that shit, because it didn't feel like, this time around it didn't feel like, you know, a Marvel film, right? Also, the Danny Elfman music is fucking fantastic and totally reminds me of, like, you know, the Batman, the Warner Brothers cartoons, right? Right, which I love the Warner Brothers cartoons, especially the Justice League Unlimited cartoon, right? Which I need to fucking rewatch that show again, man. It was fucking awesome. Also, I thought the action was good, right? Music was great. Cinematography was great. So, like, also, the Henry Cavill, like, mustache scandal where like he wouldn't shave his mustache, so they had to CGI his upper lip. I didn't think it looked that noticeable. Honestly, I didn't even notice it the first time around. It wasn't until like people like because I didn't even know about the mustache thing when I first saw the film, and watching it again, it does look a little weird, but like I think as long as you're not looking there, it's fine, right? So my problems with the film: one should have been 7 cast members. Two, we probably should have had, some movies introducing these characters before we just went into like a Justice League film, right? Also, like I said, I hated the casting. I hated how their portrayal of Barry Allen, the Flash. Not that I'm a huge Flash fan. I've pretty much only read like Jeff Johns stuff and Mark Waid stuff of the Flash, but like I felt like I don't like this Flash, man. Like this Barry Allen Flash. I think he sucks, man. Like I don't like his personality at all, man. I really don't. I thought the humor was okay in the film. I kinda was not a fan of the lasso scene with Jason Momoa. I felt like they did that for people who don't know his character, which I don't even know if he was like an outsider like character before the 90s, because that was like the 90s. In the 90s, they tried to make Aquaman cool by making him kind of look like a Viking, making him like kind of a rebel outsider, right? So I don't know if that was from the comics. I mean, I guess he was always probably a little bit of an outsider because he's half human, right? But I don't know about the whole thing where he's not a team player, if that was like a thing that pre-existed before the 90s. Also, I thought they kind of I thought like Aquaman probably should have been like stronger in the film. Like he was a bit like, I mean, he was probably on par with like Wonder Woman, but like shouldn't Wonder Woman and like Aquaman pretty much be at the same power level as Superman, right? Because I'm pretty sure in the comics they're just as strong as him, but that obviously they don't have his fucking like OP power set where like he can fly. He's super. He can fly. He has super speed. He has the fucking like laser eye beams, right? The heat vision, and he did like the cold breath in the film, which I can't remember if he did that in like Man of Steel or the other films. No, I think he did in Batman vs Superman. That's nice that they actually use that, because that's one of his powers that you don't really see that often, right? The cold breath. I felt. So like, what was the other things I had? I don't know. I felt like they probably should have had a cameo with Darkseid, or which they don't in this film. Which they did in the Snyder Cut, alright? Which, that's the thing. As far as Easter eggs, I think the Snyder Cut was probably a better, from what I've heard about, it's probably a better film. But this is all right, because it's pretty much, if you're not a fan of like 4-hour cut films, then this is probably the Justice League for you. But I don't know. I kind of like the dark Zack Snyder films, and this film kind of didn't have that that Snyderverse tone that I grew to love, right? Which was always, I mean, DC Comics was always darker than Marvel Comics, but like people seem to forget that, right? Because like, not to say that there aren't darker like Marvel comic characters, like the Hulk is pretty dark, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, because he's batshit crazy. Well, not really. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other. Iron Man's origin story was kind of dark. I don't know, man. It's the thing where I kind of miss the darker tone, but overall, I felt this was like a fun superhero film. Could have used more Easter eggs, right? Which the only Easter egg we got really is that, oh, Lex Luthor broke out of prison and he's going, and you get to see Deathstroke, who's wearing like a very New 52 costume, which I hate the New 52 costume. Like, why the fuck are we? Why the fuck are we making Deathstroke look more like Deadpool? Deadpool was a ripoff of Deathstroke. Just because Deadpool is more popular than Deathstroke doesn't mean we should make him more like Deadpool. That's fucking retarded, dude. I love the original 80s costume with the chainmail, right, and the high top boots, and you know, with the and the thing is, like, he was somebody, he had like a thing for medieval swords, and they're giving him like katanas and shit. It's like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not saying katanas aren't cool or whatever, but it's like, dude, that was Deadpool's thing. Can we stop doing this bullshit where we, like, you know, I don't know, man. It's the thing where I'm a fan of both Deathstroke and Deadpool, but it's like, don't make Deathstroke more like Deadpool, man. Like, fuck that. And I'm sick of that. And also, what the fuck is Deathstroke killed like 100 million people in Bloodhaven or some shit? What the fuck? Not 100 million, like there's some crazy number. It's like, what? Deathstroke is, yeah, Deathstroke's a villain, but he's not that. He's not homicidal. He's not fucking Joker. What the fuck? But I like Chuck Dixon, but come on, man. Sorry to randomly bring that up, but overall, I thought this was a decent film. Right? As a fan, I think it gets a pass, but yeah, I was not a fan of some of the portrayals. But like, overall, I think it's a fun superhero film. I'm giving it like a 6.5 out of 10. Not exactly 7.10. It's almost was a 7 out of 10, but you know, it's just, I was not, like, there was too much CGI Batman in like some of the fights, man, where they made him CGI, right? Yeah, like, there was too much CGI in the fights. They needed, like, you know, they needed to come up with like I don't know, a way to have like the actual actors or stunt actors in the fight scenes more, because it looked like video gamey, right? Which I get, you get that some, like, you got that in like the Snyder movies, but I felt like there was more of that here. But I could be wrong about that. So yeah, that's it for this review. My last Batman month video will be Batman the Shadow crossover, The Murder Geniuses, which I thought was written by Scott Orlando. Sorry, not Scott Snyder, but apparently he came up with the story and Steve Orlando wrote the script, which is like, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? Like, is Scott Snyder like supposed to that big where he doesn't, sorry, like a video started playing. Oh, well, that's it. Also, I found out that there's like I found out that there's a Joker manga, and I read the first chapter, and it's basically Joker. The premise of the manga is that Joker turns Bruce Wayne into a baby and is raising it. It's like, what the fuck? So, like, let me know if you want me to review that manga, but I'm probably not going to be able, knowing the Japanese, they get butthurt when you like negatively criticize their stuff. So if I do a review of it, I'm probably not going to use any pictures from the manga. But if you want me to review that manga, that Joker manga, let me know. Alright guys, peace.